Could it be motorcycles that this university, that most of you, I guarantee, may never have heard about here in China? Could it be that this university has beaten, if we take this as a race, it has won against the United States and by extension the entire West when it comes to the adoption of electric vehicles? Could it be that that is the case? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Steven. I'm an international student here in China, and on this channel I make videos about electric vehicles and electric mobility. If this is something you're interested in, give this video a thumbs up. If this is your first time to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because there is more content coming, more exciting content coming, and it's gonna get better with time. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much. I have not seen this before. I have not seen it anywhere in most universities that I have had the opportunity to visit in the West, and some of them studied. So where am I? First of all, I am in a city of around 6 million people or so, in a city called Suzhou. Province is Jiangsu. I'm at a university called China University of Mining and Technology. It's a big university, around 20,000 students. Of course, you could argue that big or small depends on your perspective, but it's quite big. It has got 2 campuses, and the campuses are about 10 minutes apart if you take the university shuttle, which travels between the campuses. Every, let's say, 20 to 30 minutes, there is one that is going to one campus and coming from the other campus. So that's the layout in the university that I'm studying at. It's also a very beautiful campus, very green, well taken care of. Everyone that has a love for nature, a love for the environment, would certainly appreciate the way they have arranged this campus, the beauty, the way the nature has been preserved, the trees. Wonderful and beautiful campus. So that's where I am at the moment. So what have I seen? I have seen that at this university, the mode of transport is through electric scooters. They are all over the place. Any corner that you turn, you see these electric motorcycles. Whether it's at this campus or the other campus, they are everywhere. You can see students riding them, people who work for the university riding them. You can see lecturers, professors, they are using them. They are very popular and very common here. And already that brought me the question, why is it that the people use this as their main mode of transport on campus? Because sometimes they would be so jam-packed that you could hardly pass through where they are parked. They are closely packed. You hardly have a way to pass through the parking lot that is being reserved. And these parking lots are all over campus, like everywhere. Every turn that you take, there's some parking lot for these electric motorcycles. And they are all over. Now, I must mention that there are some very few, and you would have to research to find them, but there are very few of motorcycles that are not electric. So they run on diesel or gasoline. But that is not our interest in the channel. But again, it's a very, very tiny fraction, and you can only, I would say, in a typical day, you probably see only one. If you are even lucky, sometimes you don't see any. They are that scarce, but everywhere you see electric motorcycles. So they're all across the campus. And the question I had was, why is this the case? And I started thinking about this, and I came to the conclusion that, well, maybe they are very convenient. And it should be the case because these campuses are generally big campuses. So for you to walk from one side of the campus to the other side of the campus, it will take you, for argument's sake, 30 minutes or 40 minutes. You're walking from one side to the other side. One campus, not from campus A to campus B, the same campus to move from one end to the other end, it will take you that long. Now, we don't want to even discuss about walking from campus A to campus B. That would be a lot longer time. So it's very convenient, and there is no better transportation, especially in the older campus, because there's no shuttle that moves within campus. In the newer campus, there is a shuttle that moves around the campus, so you could jump into the shuttle and you could be transported to wherever you want to go. But in the old campus, they do not have that. So these electric motorcycles are a very convenient form of transportation. That's my take in the first instance. Then I also think that the issue of parking space is what makes the adoption of electric motorcycle easier at this university, because they have designated different parking lots for these electric motorcycles. I am not sure if in other universities, especially in the West, if you had bought an electric motorcycle, if you would find uh, somewhere to park. Now, if you are the only person, probably that's easier. But imagine if an army of people, like students and professors and people who work, everyone has motorcycles. Where do you park them? There could be a problem of parking. So I think this encourages them to still go ahead and buy the electric motorcycles because they have somewhere to park. But I also think the pricing issue, because these are built here in China, us are very aware of the price competitiveness in terms of manufacturing here in China. So I think, I'm just speculating here, I have not checked the actual prices and tried to compare with the West, but from history, from what I understand, it would be a fraction of what you would buy it for when you're buying them in Europe or the United States. And I think this should make sense, because if you could just look at BYD cars, for example, for how much are they sold in China and for how much are they sold in, say, for example, Australia, the United Kingdom, or other European countries where they sell these, you see that the difference in price is very significant. It's very hard to explain it just based on tariffs and transportation. There's something going on. So because of that, I think students and residents of China are incentivized to buy these electric motorcycles, and so the price is just good. Now, there are huge advantages for them to own these as well in terms of time management, which I've talked about. Imagine you're going to a class, because this is a university and the major business is teaching and learning, and also maybe meetings and research and things like those. Imagine you're rushing to, say, a class or a meeting. For you to walk, you're gonna miss that class if you haven't planned your time well. So this is a little convenient machine that helps you to be able to attend your meetings, your classes, and all your appointments in time than you would if you didn't have something like this. But it's also it's cheaper mobility, I think, in the long term, especially if you're using it, than if you were using the shuttle or the bus. I should mention that people still use the bus especially when moving from campus A to campus B. So what they'll do is they'll take their motorcycles, the electric ones, park them at the bus stop. There is some space there. Ride the bus, go to the other campus, do whatever business they want to do, come back, drop off at the same spot, pick your motorcycle, and go the other side of the campus. So on the issue of it being cheap or not cheap depends on how much you use it, especially if you want also to go in the city center to buy things, etc. In the long term, might become cheaper than to be riding now the public buses, which at every instance, I think in my city is around 2 yuan, which I can make the quick conversion. I'll show it on the screen. Then it's also cleaner. You don't contributing to the emission of gases that would contribute to climate change and many other issues. So I think on that front, there are huge advantages for a university like this one to adopt electric mobility. But we do not want to paint a rosy picture and say everything is okay. There are some advantages that I can think about. Uh, Firstly, what comes to my mind is there's no protection because most of these motorcycles you ride without even a helmet. I think the laws allow that, I don't know. But people ride without a helmet. And so you do not have a protection. In fact, just 2 days ago, I saw a very uh, wonderful lady. She was riding this motorcycle. And from nowhere, suddenly, I heard this bang sound. Oh, she had fallen down. And it was such a pitiful sight to look at. I think she got hurt on her leg, and people came to help her out. I couldn't even take a video for that. I mean, it's you don't take video for misfortunes like those. I started feeling sorry for her. So the protection is questionable. You lose the protection, but that's from like accidents, but also from elements like UV lights. You are too exposed during rainy season or rainy times. You are exposed to the rain, so all those come as problems because you're using these electric motorbikes. But also durability, you don't know maybe how durable they are. So you may think it's cheap, but what if they break soon and then you have lost your money that you paid for? So it's something to think about. You'll need to delve deeper into it and do some calculations, and then you can have an idea to say, oh, indeed this is cheaper or not cheaper. But it could be something to think about in terms of durability. But another thing that I think is very important to consider is the issue of exercises, physical exercise. When you have a machine like that one, it makes you want to use it every time. And therefore, you don't get a chance to walk your 10,000 steps. You don't get a chance to exercise and keep your body uh, relatively healthier. But of course, on the flip side, people could have gym membership and things so that could already be covered as they go for the exercise. But it's something to think about, which I have seen that people who own this for every short little distance rely on that machine, and therefore you may find that you don't get the chance to have your 10,000 steps that are recommended. Thank you very much for watching. I want to hear from you. Do you think that this is a good thing for the university, or do you think there are some issues that I may have ignored? I want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next one.